we'll see if they have an answer to it. So far, no one's really had an answer to Short 4's Mei on control maps.
Well, this is the map in particular, too, where he had just an absolutely ridiculous game in terms of just controlling the flow of game, whether it be good ice walls, good blizzards, and all the rest. I mean, he's been playing Mei on other maps, but it hasn't been quite to the same effect that he got here on the Night Mark and Lijiang. So I think the key to victory here coming out from Really Cool Guys is that you simply need to maintain momentum. If they can win the first fight and go from there, it's actually much harder for Sure4 to do crazy things with Mei. But if C9 wins a team fight and locks in positioning, then it gets very grim from there on out.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen here. Very different compositions here, so I'm just a big fan of that already, as Wonderfuls is going to be on the Winston as well. We used to see a lot more Winston on this map, especially you know, against teams that weren't running a Zenyatta, but now it's so difficult to run in and get damage done before dying. He tries to get the poke damage on, but Cloud9 already rotating onto this point and already kind of winning this positional battle. The hook comes in. Can he stay alive? Nope, not for long. Rolf takes down Wonderfuls.
Wonderfuls dives in, and we've been seeing this a lot here, for better or for worse, some Really Cool Guys, where Wonderfuls is going to be the first in and usually the first to die, and it's a matter of if the rest of his team can do enough damage to make that sacrifice worthwhile, and clearly, in this first fight, the answer was no. No, they weren't. Wonderfuls died. Not much was done with it, and now C9, they get exactly what they want here, where Sure4 is going to be able to sit here, look to control here on the night market, whether it be on top or on the bottom, both great Maywall spots, and it's going to be very difficult now for Really Cool Guys to get back onto this point.
Well, they had to speed burst out there just to get out onto that point, and that's a really nice pickoff from Reaver onto Short4 early on, taking out that Mei who's been so problematic for them. That is 3 kills. This should be RCG taking this point.
Well, we were talking about the entire Reaver v Sure4 battle. Well, right there, Reaver caught Sure4 with his pants down. It was set up by Wonderfuls. Wonderfuls leaped right in, and before Sure4 could even blink, there's Reaver there at the immediate fall through on Soldier, which was dead on, immediately took him out, and Sure4 actually, they don't want to use Mei to try and retake the point. He's going to be coming out here on the McCree, so we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned McCree versus Soldier battle here in just a moment.
McCree versus Soldier, Shore4 versus Reaver. What else do you want here? I'm liking it as a longtime Overwatch fan. This should be great to watch, but they are going to battle onto the point. Wolf's going to have to transcend. Earthshadow's going to come down as well, knocks a few onto the ground. This fight is bloodless so far.
Adam sending Reaver on a ride. The boop taking him down. 5 kills here from C9. And honestly, I'm not sure the boop is needed, but man, did it make it stylish towards the very end. And for C9, they're going to reestablish right away. No Mei here to hold on control, but still, they have an edge in terms of progress. And
well, Graviton's pretty good. Graviton's like a supercharged Mei ult, or Mei wall rather, so they're still going to have a tough time getting in. I do like the Reaver's been on this right side poking in, kind of letting them know where they are. They're going to speed boost and jump in. Graviton will catch them though.
Graviton comes in, only gets Frisco in the very end. They're gonna sound barrier regardless to try and keep things going. They get Kai's result. Reaver right now just tearing things apart in the back line. No one on him at the moment as Rib finds himself in a really rough spot. No one there to help him, but the fight's breaking down multiple spots here where C9 can still very well win this. Both teams down 2 people. What comes in laying the fight from Frisco, but it's not enough. Sure4 can be the one to do the damage and pull a packet. Oh no, Grego with a counter boop. We both know Grego and Adam are great supports, but both having some fun here, knocking each other off the side, respectively, as Adam knocks Grego to finish it off.
Well, Short4 saved some lives and saved the fight there, actually, because Adam had gotten hooked in, and that was going to be a swing kill that they needed. However, he was able to kill Frisco before the damage was able to come through onto Adam, so a bullet to the brain ended up saving Adam's life, and look at this stock that they have in Ultimate. C9 should win this fight.
C9 in a really good position here. Mendo on the Frisco to start things off, and here comes Sure4 off on the side. Both support ults out here for C9. They literally cannot die, at least for a little bit. Boop attempt comes out in Sure4, but it's just too far in for it to be a thing as Mendo getting cleanup after cleanup, and this is the final attempt here for Really Cool Guys. They can't make anything of it. They're going to be losing the point, and just like that, C9 taking round number 1.
Well, looked pretty easy for him, aside for some heroic moments from Reaver on his Soldier 76. It was mostly Shore4's McCree that ended up swinging a couple fights for them there, so they were able to take first stage. Even without Shore4's Mei, they're going to move on to Control Center. I expect Shatter rather to have a bigger game here. If he's going to stick on the Genji, I think Genji is pretty decent on this point. They're going to switch Wonderfuls off of the Winston. Shatter now and onto the Diva, so they're just going to roll tank heavy here now. 3 tanks and a Mei, might as well be 3.5 tanks.
As good as Shatter's Genji might be, I'm actually completely okay with them swapping up so long as they figure that Sure4 is going to be in the creep, but swing a swap up, Sure4 flirting with the idea of going the 76, but I think he's still thinking Shara's going to be coming on the McCree, or sorry, on the Genji, so he wants to be McCree to deal with that. I think we're going to be getting a lot of swaps back and forth here from both teams as they feel each other out. If this first fight doesn't go in C9's favor, definitely think we're going to be seeing Shara for a swap off to something else, whether it be a Tracer, Soldier, or otherwise, but they grab Wonderfuls early on, and this has been a recurring theme here for really cool guys.
Now the problem was they got the wall they wanted, and then they got the charge, and they were able to finish any of that off, and Wolf was able to sneak by the edge, Discord, and kill off Wonderfuls, who was on the charge, didn't exactly get what they wanted, so it was a little bit misplaced of the wall to let anyone even able to peek. They should have had a free kill there just based on the wall, unable to do it, and it cost them a bunch of lives.
I do think that there's something a little bit amiss in how really cool guys is playing, because you think we were talking about Wonderfuls earlier on, where he either goes in early and the team either makes something of a sacrifice or not. It doesn't always have to be a sacrifice, and a lot of times it feels like it is in these early fights. Yeah. But Rib
just gave his life
bit too far out
for whatever reason too. So both Reinhardt's playing very aggressive, being absolutely punished for it. They need to take advantage of this small window they have where it's 6v5.
And they're going to be doing just that. Surefour, though, grabs Reaver early on, and here's a Transcendence from Wolf. This is what C9's going to use to try and bring this back, and they do just that. Surefour gets on the Reaver, 3 extra kills coming out, and it's Wolf with the counter Transcendence that lets C9 get a really nice counter engage.
Yeah, Frisco got in there, got Surefour down, but that is the only trade they were able to make there. So far it's been just very difficult for this RCG team to engage, has not found a clean engage, has not gotten the picks that they wanted, and just everything's been off by a little bit of inches, so perhaps some signs of being a newer team really starting to show through.
Well, Kai holding on to that Graviton right now, of course. He's had big Gravitons all throughout the day. Gonna be looking for one right here. Biding his time, Graviton comes in and he pulls in 3, if not 4 people there. Fall through, though, isn't immediately there. Most of the team gonna get out unscathed. And even though you have Surefour trying to split things off, he's actually in real trouble here from Reaver, who's worked his way to the backline, is picked off 2, full HP, looking for another hook.
Yeah, they use the sound barrier, and there goes Shatter. Takes down a couple after that bio grenade. That bio grenade should be the one getting the kills. It is totally eliminated him, but it is Shatter cleaning up 4 kills for him.
Shatter and Reaver really being the backbone of this offense here. They pick off another one towards the very end, and that was just Adam trying to do a little bit of delay towards the end. Not going to be enough to hold on for too much longer, but for C9, they only need one more fight here to turn this, so pressure is really on really cool guys here that have an iron defense going forward.
I think a lot of people's biggest questions are about Shatter too. Can he transition into other heroes? Can he provide the value? In this level of Overwatch, you cannot really only have one hero in your pool. They use a bunch of ultimates. The Bio Grenade comes in, does not save everyone as Reaver cleans up on the backside. Transcendence completely negated by a Bio Grenade, and that is the second one that Rob Wiz has hit in a clutch moment to win them fights.
And 4 really cool guys are going to need that and more going forward. Right now, ult-wise, they're relatively drained. And oh no, Reaver getting hooked in towards the back, needs to back out in a hurry. Wall tries to block him off, and for now, he just needs to continue to back up. And to his team's credit, they're able to give him the support and healing he needs. Reinhardt is out there with the shield, and Reaver going to live to fight another day, and that was huge. If he had gotten picked off there, Hex, this round might have been over.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going to try to come in now. Wonderfuls again with another interesting charge as he gets cleaned up immediately. The Blizzard's going to come in post Graviton. That's a combo that Cloud9 has used all night to great effect. They are going to get all kills that they want. Reaver will trade out with Mendo towards the end, but that is the only trade they're going to get. Cloud9 will take this point back at 94%. They're going to push forward and try to deny them any access to even the point. Here comes the wall in as well. Might be able to do it.
The wall might have done its job here, but here comes Reinhardt at the very end. Wonderful's not going to be able to get on the point. The wall doing its duty. It was not only a wall, but it was also freezing Wonderfuls in place. So Surefour being the savior, blocking out really cool guys. And now C9 cruising along here, 1 round away from taking this map pretty convincingly.
I'm really interested in the Reinhardt play so far. It's been extremely aggressive. They've been getting walled off, so I think they're being forced to make some of these charges, but it seems like neither Rib or Wonderfuls has hit the charges that have been aggressive, and they've been punished very early on, but I suppose if at least they're both doing it, that it's not hurting their team so much. It looks like we're going to have similar compositions on both sides running a Zarya. Surefour is going to stick on the Mei, as is Frisco. The biggest difference being Reaver is on a 76, and Mendo is going to play the Roadhog. Which do you prefer on this map? Definitely different styles of comps.
It's interesting looking at how both teams are switching up. I kind of like the Roadhog a little bit more just because there's so much potential for free pickoffs using the middle pit to really throw people in. But what a nice wall from Surefour there early on. Separates out Wonderfuls, gets the early pickoff, and for C9, that's pretty much all they need to do to get this first point, but they're not satisfied. Just, oh no! Ice Pocket will not save you now! The boop dealing with Surefour, but it's okay. Rib had the rest of the party covered, dives right in, grabs 3 kills, and Surefour still an ice cube somewhere.
Hey Hex, Roadhog's a pretty good hero.
I've heard he's a pretty good hero. I mean, I definitely agree with it, but I think if you're going to run a very passive composition, you can, you know, get your Soldier 76 there too. Ideally, you want to find room to run both of them, but yes, Roadhog is very good at hooking people off the edge. I mostly feel bad for those fish, because Koi, I don't know if they really like cold water. Reaver gets hooked off the edge right there. He's going to join Short4 in that drink at the bottom, so that is a nice hook really early on.
Mendo right now has absolutely been taking control of this game with good hooks, one after another, but also Surefour's Mei has been providing so much control to C9, where you saw it in the very first fight, where they wall out Wonderfuls, cause him to die, and then he gets another wall as they chase down everything else. So for C9, everything has gone their way right now. They're going to have an ult advantage in the next fight, and for really cool guys, they have to find a way of getting through this double threat here, where they don't want to get split off by Mei, but they also don't want to feed Mendo, and right now, the way C9's playing, it's really rough not to get hit by one of those 2 traps.
Short4's gonna have Blizzard up too, and he's gotten great effect off of it. He's gonna Blizzard onto the bridge. The Earthshatter comes up too, perhaps a bit of overkill here, but they are gonna clean up absolutely everyone. Cloud9 unstoppable as they're rolling their way to 60% and a very quick first map win.
62% here for C9. It's going to take one heck of a comeback from really cool guys, because not only do they have to come back here on this map, which is going to require winning the next fight and then not losing at all, but then they're going to have to do the full reverse sweep. But if there is a comeback to be had for really cool guys, it's going to have to happen right here, right now. Robwiz, though, gets taken out by Rib. Early on to start this fight, they're already down 2, and now they're going to have to back out and go for the last minute push. Way less effective in terms of positioning, but they really are struggling for a miracle now.
Well, they made some changes. Frisco's on the Roadhog now. Reaver went to Tracer, but I think they needed some wholesale changes. I've not seen anyone getting anything done, so what's the point of really sticking on heroes that aren't doing much? So they are still off of them. Here comes the graph on the wall. It's going to drop a couple. It's going to drop 2. Maybe just one.
Drops 2 to start things out. Shadow trying to be a hero on the back line. Not going to have any of it. Wolf dispatching him with the aid of that sound barrier. And C9 looking perhaps a little bit angry, but definitely very solid in the end. A quick 3-0 over some of their former teammates of really cool guys. And again, who even knows what's going on in this group here, where really cool guys, they beat Kingdom earlier on, and Kingdom just beat C9, but C9 decisively beating really cool guys here, so little bit of chaos here in Group A.
Now, really cool guys does like going to King of the Hill, but they haven't won either of the King of the Hills that they've had to play so far. The other King of the Hill is in the map pool, but Nabani, I believe, or Gibraltar, I believe, is the other payload map, a map that Cloud9 has called home for a very long time. Now, I do know that really cool guys has practiced some interesting setups on Gibraltar, so it wouldn't completely surprise me if they went there considering how King of the Hill has gone. So yes, they will be going to Gibraltar. I think that is probably the good move. From what I can see on King of the Hill, the round that they did win out of the 2 King of the Hill maps they played was a dive comp style, but going up against Surefour on McCree and Rolf on Zen with dive comp, and considering that Shatter is playing from Romania, I would assume on 150, 160 ping, is very hard. I mean, we see how difficult it is for Shadowburn to play on a Genji with high ping. Probably the same type of problems for really cool guys. They're going to need to change it up here on Gibraltar. I have heard them maybe playing a Rhineless defense with Mei, especially on first point, so it is going to be interesting to see what they do.
Alrighty, so we are going to be heading into Watchpoint Gibraltar for the next map, and this is actually really interesting if you think about it, because there was a point where we'd want to say that this is one of C9's stronger maps, but in reality, both teams have a part of C9 in them, where of course you have C9 with 3 of the original members, but Really Cool Guys has 2 of the original C9 members, so both teams very familiar with how to play a good map on Gibraltar. And for Reaver, this could be a little bit of a return to form, where we'll see him perhaps run the 76 on the top and try and really keep things where they need to. Wait a second, Hex, the teams were not accurate. Old habits.
I caught it.
Yeah. It's like you see Reaver, you think that's going to be Cloud9, but then no.
I would think triple tank soldier is probably the most likely option coming out of really cool guys. Though Shatter running Genji, because it is such a good Genji map, 2-2-2 would be probably a pretty good option, just because of D.Va Ryan Roadhog being so solid right now. That them running the triple tank with Reaper on Soldier, considering how good he was on Gibraltar, I think it's probably a solid move. I could probably see Cloud9 mirroring the same thing here, because that seems pretty standard. Even though I love them running their Zenana as they had been a few weeks ago, it seems like they've gone away from that lately.
I'm just hoping that when we flip the teams and RCG's on offense, that we might see some more Widowmaker too. Perhaps a little Grego, perhaps Reaver, one of the two. I mean, they're both top-tier Widows in my opinion, so I would like to see that on offense. I think Widow is still too underrated overall, just especially if you have those high-tier players on it. So, yeah, I would like to see one of those two. Is this actually going to be the Cloud9 defense? They're out of spawn.
Okay, we have seen Torb played on top of the second bridge, right near glass, along the right side, and we've seen Sombra be pretty decent here because she can hack the Mega inside of IT and/or the Mini down below and get a lot of ult charge fast. Very interesting. I mean, why not? They have a map to kind of play around with. Let's just see what happens.
I don't even know what they're saying here with all these inside jokes. Kai saying, "Come be my T-Rex Reaver." I don't even know. I mean, that doesn't even sound like anything bad, but then you have the winky face at the end, and now it sounds all sorts of mischievous.
Well...
Oh, okay, well, we're just gonna... We didn't hear any of that, but Shatter does find Surefour immediately. Rip Sombra, the dream is dead. A quick strike here by really cool guys, and now the 65, they could really bust C9 wide open.
Yeah, not a whole lot of value out of that Sombra play for sure. They are going to try to defend this turret that is up, so that's going to be something that they're going to have to rotate in on. That's exactly what they do. They just jump on it. Rib gets completely bio-grenaded and taken down. His friendly turret is taken down momentarily. This is all RCG right now.
Everything going their way, and it comes down to the fact that Surefour got picked off really early while being a little bit too aggressive on that Sombra. The Torbjorn not getting much done at all, and there's an interesting new defensive comp coming out from C9. That's the most I can say about it, as David Gang rolled over. Mendo, though, coming in over the top, trying to be the hero, and perhaps really cool guys taking too much for granted here, as Mendo starting to go in, getting to work here, gets 2 pickoffs, and is giving new life to the C9 defense that in the beginning was looking very shaky indeed.
The best thing you can really say about the Torb and the Sombra is that they've been super distracting and annoying, so much so that Mendo's been untouched up top and just able to get a lot of kills, able to pepper them down. Now he's getting a little aggressive. I would like to see him actually rotate back. You don't want to really be in hook range here, so Mendo is going to jump back, is going to take the high ground again. That's exactly where we want to be as Soldier. So right now, after everything went bad, they are going to restabilize and set up here again. They are off the Torbjorn as Kai goes onto the D.Va instead.
Well, here we go. Through the room goes really cool guys, but Surefour's just gonna casually walk up, drops the EMP, and oh my goodness, the fall through is there from all the tank players. It is a full and complete wipe from C9, set up by that EMP. There's no defense there. They all got tagged, and now they're just making Frisco wait for his demise.
EMP is a pretty good ultimate. It's probably one of the best ultimates in the game, even though we haven't seen it too much. Just the absolute devastation it can lay on teams. You just can't get anything done. And for the most part, an EMP will lead to a 6-0 wipe in your favor.
Alrighty, well, take a look here. Mendo sing here over the top on the 76. And for C9, they've been able to reestablish after what was a very, very rough opening where Surefour got picked and was looking like momentum was going against them. Now, you have Mendo here in the top, well stabilized. He has to run away immediately, sees Reaver having him in his sights, wants no part of it, but C9 thus far, they're doing a good job not to feed too much of this. Do have the D.Va self-destruct coming out, gonna zone out Reaver, and C9 playing this beautifully right now to at least hang on. Now, attrition starting to take its toll in terms of ultimates. The late sound barrier out here from really cool guys does set them up for 3 kills. But if nothing else for C9, they have delayed this quite a bit.
Yeah, it's been a pretty decent hold. This should be cleaned up now, though, as all the ultimates are coming through. That's Earthshatter, that's Whole Hog, that is everything. They are tired of being held on this point. They throw everything they have at it and will finally get the point. You have to imagine that Surefour will be off of this Sombra at this point, but he's at 50%, and we've seen how devastating that ult can be. It's just a matter of where he's going to set up, although we still don't know exactly where Sombra is good and where she's bad nowadays. So Short4 is able to get out and escape. It looks like he has designs of staying on this. 90%,
and why not? I mean,
yeah.
For C9, it's part... This is a tournament they want to win, but they also want to experiment stuff as well, going into some other events later on this month, and they did get a very decisive team wipe with the Sombra earlier, and for Short4, he's going to have ultimate up here again. They will have Earthshatter the combo with him. He's just going to come in over the top. There's the EMP. No one can use any abilities. Let's see if C9 is able to get the fall through that they're looking for.
Not exactly the follow-up that they had the first time. You generally want to combo EMP with like at least one more ability just to knock them all down or something along those lines, and they don't do it there. Shatter is able to get a couple kill streaks on Short4 and Wolf. Mendo the only one doing much for the side of Cloud9, and it looks like they're going to have some pretty decent momentum, but all of these fights are scattered all over the place.
It is very, very scattered here. Mendo... Actually, no one on Mendo that entire fight, but he's not able to take advantage of it and getting the kills they need to get in that sort of situation. And as a result, there's still a lot of momentum coming out here from the side. Really cool, guys. You have the Nano Visor coming out here from Reaver towards the end. And I don't know, it's been a day of Nano Visors not getting anywhere near that much done. Reaver got pretty much 0 off of that Nano Visor. It's still momentum in favor of really cool guys, but you kind of need to get more if you're going to invest 2 ultimates into a play like that.
This is very drawn out, but it has still been RCG. Can they bring it back with this Earthshatter? They did knock 3 down, but not getting anything out of it. There's just not the follow-up damage here. I have to think part of that was because they had the Sombra. Now they do have a Tracer into it too, but still not the giant gun staying alive on the card for a while. That has been all red in that kill feed for quite a bit. They have 310 to close out this map.
The one thing I'll say about C9, though, is that even when they've been losing fights, they have been drawing out a decent amount of time. It still took a while for really cool guys to get in and finish that out, so we'll see where things go here, but ultimate-wise, C9 is at a bit of a disadvantage going into the next fight, and for them, this is sort of a, I'm not going to say it's a must-win fight, but their chances of getting a full hold here become pretty grim if they go up and get wiped, because they're going to be charging out ults on the other side, and they're still being really aggro. Both Kai and Rib charging right in, but Shatter countering with the whole hog, going to be pushing things back in the favor of really cool guys, and they're more than willing to take the challenge.
Yeah, they're going to Soundbreaker here too, so we'll see if they actually get any value off of that as they do try to charge in. So I generally judge Soundbearer on it if you got a couple kills, but a nice disengagement from RCG to make them get nothing out of it. A beautiful hook late from Mendo takes down Reaver. That should slow down the next push. Only 2 minutes. Probably only 2 decent pushes for RCG to close out this map.
Well, the interesting thing is that Kai had no fear towards the very end. Even though he was getting poked down, he thought that he could get the first pick off first. He did do just that. And it was at 6v5 that let C9 be a little bit more aggressive, and it worked out, even though Shatter did open up with that whole hog. So it was nice positioning by C9 to take that fight, and that's what they really need if they want to get this hold on last, because Kai is going to have self-destruct up here in a moment. This is one of the best areas in the game to have a self-destruct. He's going to be moving right in. And again, no fear from Kai, just driving everyone right back.
And they haven't had a great answer for it. They are going to use everything that they have on the way in. Reaver's got the visor going, and he's getting boosted, so they're trying to get something going. They are able to take down Rib, but that is it so far. Kai slipped. Is he going to get cleaned up? They do hook Briscoe in as well, trying to get a couple kills here, but really they used a lot and didn't get a ton out of it for the offense.
No, not in the least, and even though Kai had the panic out towards the end, it doesn't really matter. It still keeps him alive. Short4 is in over the top, one of the best McCree spots you can be in right now. Gonna get taken out by Grego in the very end, so a little bit of Lucio razzle-dazzle, but still, you look at the rest of the offense, they're being held back by the C9 front line, and only a minute remaining, so C9 has done their job. They had to do this with 3 minutes, now they only have to do it with 1, and for really cool guys, they've really just been sputtering the last few fights.
Yeah, they haven't really had anything going. Can Frisco get something over the top to at least pull them back and allow them to set up on the top of the hill? They've been just getting thrown down on trying to get up this last point on the hill here. They've got a couple of ultimates to use. They really only won fights when they've had ultimate advantage. Here comes the self-destruct. Lands on top of the bridge.
Coming in from Frisco, but it got absolutely nothing done. And meanwhile, C9, they are getting things done here. Short4 on the top on the 76. Rib just swinging the hammer, pushing people back. And again, that self-destruct wasn't really placed where they need to place him. With 29 seconds left, C9 very close to getting this hold on last.
It just feels right now that RCG cannot compete with Cloud9 unless they have an overwhelming ultimate advantage, and even when they do, it's a 50-50. You think about that first point that they won, they had to throw everything that they had at it. Then they had a couple pushes on last where they had ult advantage and didn't get much out of it too, so Cloud9 simply winning even without the resource advantage.
So, 3 seconds left here. Really cool guys on their final push. They're going to put their faith in Wonderfuls, who charges way out with that nano boost. Doesn't really have any targets to get on immediately. Meanwhile, C9 more than content to just play the payload. Moving on it. Rib swing the hammer. Will get pushed back a little bit, but he's so close to getting the Earth Shatter. 10 HP left. Not going to get it in time. The hope's still alive here for really cool guys as they stay on the payload, but it is very back and forth between the two teams, as really Wonderful is trying to be the last remaining person here, making space for his team, and it's working out.
Well, they slept Wonderfuls in the backline after he got boosted in there. They slept him and forgot him. He woke up with an Earth Shatter and made him pay. It's the only reason they're still alive in this, so they didn't clean him up on the ground when they had the chance. He's coming back alive, but that is short for taking on Broward. They don't really have an answer for this high ground here. It's got to be Shatter. Shatter's got to get him off the high ground. But here comes Attack Visor. That should all but end this round.
And that is Attack Visor you want to see there, where nothing was in Surefour's way, nothing could stop him. Comes in off the top, nothing but a shooting gallery for Surefour at the very end. It's going to clean things out for C9 and give them the hold that they're looking for. So C9, well positioned now to win this map outright. All they need to do is put together a good offense that finishes out the map.
I mean, very good from C9, considering they ran Sombra Torb first point, pretty much gave it up otherwise, some heroics and Mendo, and then second point they still had Sombra, and then really cool guys able to come through. So I'm expecting some cheeky stuff coming out from really cool guys. I'm expecting no Reinhardt. I'm expecting Mei and probably either Diva, Roadhog, or Zarya Roadhog on the cart. They're going to have Mei and Zarya and Roadhog on the cart and Diva up high along with Robles.
Well, it does appear, yeah, that seems to be the composition that they are rolling out. I'm a little bummed. I wanted to see Widowmaker. Just, you know, the variety is the spice of life. No Widowmaker, though. But yeah, this is an interesting composition. Pretty tank heavy here. Really, I guess you can't even really call it a DPS. You know, when I see 3 tanks and a Mei, it's like 3.5 tanks. She's very hard to kill. Yes, she does put out some decent damage, but it's not necessarily what jumps to mind when you think of DPS. So see how the kills are manufactured from this offense.
And they've also been trying Zenana with this style. So I think from what I've heard, it's gone pretty decent against the tank heavy offensive comps.
Well, I mean, it does make sense too. I mean, you don't have the Reinhardt, but that means you're not getting sort of baited into the shield v shield battles where you can actually put all your focus on the immediately cracking the shield and controlling out by separating out the Reinhardt from the rest of his team. So it's a bit of a different approach, but I can definitely see how it could work out here for really cool guys. And they're playing with fire a little bit here. They're pretty far out for a Gibraltar defense, where I'm sure they plan on backing out immediately, but if they lose someone here in this early gambit, it could go from bad to worse. Oh my goodness, not like this. Kai falls into the trap. That's what they were looking for there, and it pays off. They took a bit of a gamble, but they get all the ultimate from killing Kai. They even find Surefour towards the very end, and C9 gonna get pushed back immediately.
Yeah, the wall's a little far back. They were trying to grab more out of it, but they do find another kill in Mendo down below, so they're going to have to wait for that to re-arrive as well. So that is exactly what they wanted for an opening. They're not going to sit in the same spot again. They are going to back up to just about server room, but this is a great place to put down walls. The car rush is really vulnerable to Mei walls, and then it just brutalizing whoever gets caught on the wrong side of it.
Shadow right now sitting here back with his team looking for early hooks, and he does find Kai again. He's more than willing to grab Kai in these hook exchanges. However, he does pay for that with his life. Both teams down to tank early on, and that's not the worst opening here for C9 as Mendo free the land hook after hook. The wall gonna stop him from the immediate fall through there, but it's still very close between the two. It's 5v5. Rib, though, falling should let really cool guys be a little bit more aggressive on this. Oh man, if Wonderful's not losing the self-destruct here, that would be ridiculous. I think for now, they're more content to just slowly pick it apart, and look at them. 2 people stuck in the freezer.
They had them all locked in this corner. It is a killing field right now as they do take down both Rolf and Shortform. The thing is, their kills are also coming very late. These aren't immediate 6 wipes. That was a 2, a 2, and a 2, so it's going to be a while before they can get back to full fighting force here, even with Spawn so close.
That was pretty amazing. Just the way that they were able to stagger that in there. The Mei wall closing out not 1 but 2 people. Gotta love what we saw there. And Wonderfuls right now, they're looking for again. Kai continues to get stuck in rooms here. It's like some sort of recurring nightmare. Surefour coming in off the flanking nanovisor. Not gonna get too much and just gets a diva in his face for his trouble. Not what you want when you're looking for that big decisive soldier flank.
Well, defense did burn a couple ultimates there that they may not have had to burn, but it's probably okay. They used Blizzard and Transcend, ended up with a couple kills. Shortform taking on Rob is actually a really nice kill for them moving forward. They're not gonna have to worry about one of the main healers. Now a single healer out that they know is only is Zenyatta not an ideal single healer in this situation. They will probably have to clutch on a couple of the tank ultimates. They've got all 3 of them up.
Wonderful's right now staying back, holding on to that self-destruct, and it's a minute 30 left, so this fight, if Really Cool Guys is able to take it, could very well be a map-defining fight. They still have to win 2, but it's gonna play Russell's position. There it is, Graviton in the self-destruct. And Shatter getting the fall through from the other side. No matter where they turned, they were going to fall there. Beautiful coordination coming out from Really Cool Guys. They get the kills they need, and they are 1 fight away, Hex, from getting this full hold here against C9.
It looked good for about half a second because I didn't see Shatter was up there too. I was like, oh, the shield's out there, they'll be fine. Then Shatter comes through, knocks everyone off. What a glorious looking whole hog that was. And yeah, you're absolutely right. 1 minute left. Kaikai's going to switch, so they're not going to have that available for them too. Mendo's got whole hog. They're going to have a couple. They're going to have Soundbarrier and Earthshatter as well. Short4 switched on the Tracer. They're struggling for answers against this comp.
Well, they will have a few ultimates up that should be able to put them up over the top. They're going to have Sound Barrier into Earthshatter here. It will be an edge. And really for Rib, it's going to be a matter of can he use the speed boost, go in, and drop the hammer and get away. He does get split out to start things off here. Going to get pushed back. Sound Barrier will keep him nice and healthy, and where will he drop this hammer? This is a big deal in this fight, especially with the Transcendence coming down, and there it is! The Earthshatter comes down, knocks down 3. Is C9 going to be able to do enough off this? The Transcendence does fade. But Rib falls in the process as Mendo right now, looking to be the difference maker, has one, gets a second hook, and here comes Mendo, Mendad as the chat would like to call him, and C9 at the very last moment, looking like they will be able to take this first point.
I always liked Mendo as my friendo rather than Mendad. Why does everyone have to be dad? Can't you just have friends too? Anyway,
no,
they are.
Everyone is your dad, Hex. Welcome to Twitch.
Alright, I got it. So they are going to roll through there with some really poor spawns on the side of RCG. If they do get a couple forward spawns, they're going to try to make the best of them, and they actually do flip around and get a couple of kills. Short4 is really far deep right now. Kai is going to have to try to get himself out of there as well, so they made the best of a bad situation there as both tanks got caught in these lower spawns, and they just teamed up to get a couple kills instead of beautiful hook onto Adam.
That was phenomenal. Catches Adam right by the thinnest part of his model, still pulls him in. And now this is a good reestablishment here from Really Cool Guys. We've seen time and time again where one team with offensive momentum will just keep it up all throughout Hangar. The defense doesn't get a chance to recover, but for Really Cool Guys, they do recover here. They will get a chance to establish here on the top, and for C9 that only has a minute 45 left. This is the greatest. Oh no, Adam gets caught again. Farewell, Adam. Mendo does make Shatter pay for it, but they're gonna have to do this now without their Lucio, and it's more time that he's not charging ultimate.
Yeah, losing your Lucio really early on is pretty bad, but losing your Roadhog not great either. Frisco's got to be super careful. He is discorded. Rib does take out his counterpart, and now Rib looking for more. A couple low health targets on the ground. Frisco barely alive, but probably not for long. They are rolling through now. That is 4 kills for Cloud9 as they continue to go to the second point. They should be largely unopposed here. I don't see them coming in to even contest this.
Well, things have gone from great to very bad now for Really Cool Guys. They were at a point where they could have had the first point hold. They only needed one more fight. Now they have to hold here on last for 2.5 minutes. Not all the way at last point, mind you, but a little bit before. Easier said than done, especially as C9 is keeping down a whole lot of momentum here. Really Cool Guys on the hot seat. They need to reverse this sooner rather than later, or it will be Cloud9 taking the map and the series.
This map can so many times be decided by your spawns. You saw right there Frisco jumping off the edge. Why was that? He got forward spawns. Didn't want to feed anymore, so we went off the edge instead. They are in the yellow box. They get Graviton. That's a 5-man Graviton in Short4.
Short4 with the fall through. Reaver right now trying to be the difference maker, but no, not going to happen. Even if he got on the card earlier, it's not enough. It is the gigantic mammoth Deadeye coming in from Short4. Fall through to Kaikai's Graviton that puts C9 over the top and lets them dispatch the Really Cool Guys. So Really Cool Guys, in the end, they start out the day pretty strong, but they end 1-2. C9 gonna be ending 2-1, and I think we might be seeing an instant replay of that Short4 Deadeye. And no, in fact, it's gonna be Mendo.
It's not even the Shatter 4K. Huh. This better be good, man.
Oh, no,
I was practicing.
This is the very end. It's just, even though Short4 got the kills, Mendo was still in on, did enough to get a little bit of extra, because he grabbed Grego here at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, the point I was making is that they lost Rob, Wiz, and Frisco there towards the end just because of the spawns that happened. Just because they got the spawns that are right outside the door. They both popped their head out, saw what they saw. Frisco went immediately to jump off the cliff. Rob had designs of trying to get back to his team. He got killed by Rolf, so immediately they're going into a 6v4 just because of the spawns that happened there. And Gibraltar is one of those maps that the spawns can really, really hurt you. They were able to battle back from bad spawns on the second point, not so much on third, and that might have cost them a lot of positioning they needed to defend last.
I mean, you saw the opposite from these two teams on that map. Cloud9 on defense pretty much gave up first point immediately and majority of the second point, but then held final point 3 to 4 minutes. On the flip side, Really Cool Guys is a very good comp, I would say. First point, almost full held Cloud9. And then while they did win the very first team fight during the hangar phase, they really weren't able to stop it. And then as Hex, as you mentioned earlier, forward spawns got the worst of Really Cool Guys, and they were never really able to set up on that final point, and Cloud9 just rolled right through. So Cloud9 put themselves a 2-1 lead, and it really will determine the outcome between Liquid or Kingdom to see who's the second team.
Alrighty, so for Really Cool Guys, it was an interesting... Uh-oh, my head has fallen off. You know what, we'll worry about it later. It's just gonna stay there. But for Really Cool Guys, it was not a bad showing. I mean, they did come very close to holding C9 on Gibraltar. They were able to beat Kingdom earlier in the day. I think for their first run as a team, it's something they can build upon. They weren't stomped out of these games for the most part. They had a decent showing, and to any sponsor that might be looking, it sort of goes, okay, you know what? We throw a good coach, we throw a good analyst behind these guys, we give them support. There's potential here.
I mean, they've only been scrimming for a few weeks. I definitely think they've had a good showing. Even them for them to win the first series against Kingdom is enough to show that they can hang with these top teams. And they did come up with a few interesting, cool comps, such as single support, Pharah Widow on King's Row, and then Ryan, a triple tank defense with Zen Ana on Gibraltar. And a lot of that, I think, is Grego's shot calling and ingenuity here. And I think with him at the helm, calling these strats and positions, they do have a very bright future. They are going to have to work on their hero pool, although they have a lot of people that can play different things. You saw Frisco on D.Va and on Roadhog and on Mei and on DPS. You saw Chatter on Genji and on Roadhog and on D.Va and on Zarya. They probably are lacking when they get to the third, fourth, fifth hero in that way, where we saw, like, for example, D.Va bombs. We saw a lot of them from Man of Snow. We saw a lot of them from Kai Kai, but they were really not able to hit the same type of ults. And I think that just comes to experience playing these heroes in scrim and match form, where they just don't have that same type of experience.
Alrighty, so we're going to be taking a quick break. When we come back, Group B action will be heading your way. Of course, Group B filled with a whole bunch of titans, including Complexity, FaZe, Immortals, and Method. We're going to be starting out things with Complexity versus Immortals, and I'll be joined by the one and only Golden Boy. He is a national treasure, he says it himself. But we're going to be taking a short break. We'll be right back.